The Flannery brothers' animosity for one another intensifies in episode 2 of BMF's season 4, leading them in divergent directions. Terry and Meech intend to grow their company in a number of ways. But the chasm that developed between them following their perilous journey to Mexico drives them more and farther away. In the meantime, B. Mickey, a former friend who has turned into an enemy, is having financial difficulties. He remains firmly out of the brothers' good graces, nevertheless, in spite of the act he pulled the other day with Lamar Silas. However, when Nicole makes a mistake and is caught up by a police officer and made to spend a night in lockup, her bright future is thrown into disarray. With problems brewing in the Flannery household, Meech and the Black Mafia family have a lengthy and complex history with Bryant. For years, he has been making numerous sacrifices in an attempt to apprehend the criminal organization and its ringleader. Since the gang's multi-state growth, it appears that his goal hasn't altered at all. As a result, during a support group meeting, he finds himself going back to their former area. But when a turf battle starts, he finds himself drawing the wrong attention. Consequently, he is arrested by the local police. This ultimately results in an unanticipated offer of collaboration. The majority of the criminal lowlifes that sell BMF stash around the area are the ones the police are trying to get off the streets. Given that Bryant has Meech in his sights, their interests will unavoidably coincide. After determining that one plane arriving from Colombia would be a potential stowaway for the gang's cash, they devise a coordinated sting operation. However, after the other detective is killed in an early gunfight, the operation takes a detour. Even worse, there are no indications that the aircraft is associated with the criminal group. But this is truly intentional. Meech purposefully put Bryant up for a trap since he was on his track. Meech's business associates are actually transporting his actual hoard separately. The gang leader isn't completely out of the red, though. Even though he was successful in thwarting Bryant's ambitions, he remains ignorant of the potential for rebellion within his own leadership. His co-conspirators come to the conclusion that there is nothing stopping them from robbing Meech of his stockpile and going it alone after realizing they can operate covertly because everyone is focused on Meech. The eldest Flannery brother allows himself to be persuaded to take some heavy drugs during this time, which could turn out to be problematic later. When Meech finally returns from a protracted absence in the previous episode, he presents a gift for his sister's graduation. There is a lot of pomp and excitement when he gives Nicole her own car. A few days later, the young girl and her boyfriend drive the car. But it doesn't take long for some police officers to notice it. The car immediately pings official systems as stolen, as it turns out. Nicole ends up in an interrogation room with a police officer who is keen to accuse her brothers. She refuses to turn on Meech, though, and continues to stand her ground. Nicole spends the rest of the night in jail after using her one phone call to call home and ask her mother to bring bail money. Lucille and Charles are shocked by this news and are faced with the challenge of finding enough money to pay their daughter's bail because Meech's illegal money led to the problem in the first place, and they are determined not to borrow a dime from him. Charles eventually has to sell his beloved musical instrument for a quick buck, and Nicole then picks a huge argument with her mother after she tries to humiliate her for having sex with her. For better or worse, the young woman appears to have been resentful of her family as a result of the unjust penalty of spending a night in lockup. Since his most recent error nearly cost the gang their future, B. Mickey's tenure in the Black Mafia family has come to an end. Despite having a good friendship with Meech, he is expelled from the criminal organization for the same reason. Since then, he has worked hard at the plant in an attempt to get back on his feet. Nevertheless, B. Mickey's income hardly covers the cost of medical care when his small daughter becomes ill. As a result, he finds it extremely difficult to save enough cash to support his family. He even makes an attempt to ask the local church for assistance. The Flannery brothers were so contacted by B. Mickey on the evening of Nicole's graduation. However, despite the fact that she shot Lamar to protect them, the two still avoid him. Nevertheless, he gets Terry to meet with him. He and Meech have had a tense relationship since Mexico, which has caused them to decide on the gang together. Nevertheless, he is aware that it is important to consult his brother before making any decisions regarding B. Mickey. He also has no intention of trusting the man once more. Terry gives the father some money to cover his daughter's surgery for the same reason. The latter, however, declines the offer, stating that he truly needs a means of earning a living for his family.